Well, before we kick off this episode, I got to tell you, Nature Bee have come up with something dangerous. Their new Power Bee Bite Bars. Chocolate caramel or peanut honey choc chip. They taste so good, you're going to forget they're healthy. Packed with protein, boosted with power pollen, they're perfect for the road, perfect for the shed, perfect for the man cave, perfect anytime you need a quick lift. And they're paired beautifully with your daily power pollen capsules to create the ultimate wellness routine. Links are in the description right now. But stick around, I'll tell you more.
Luke's on the desk, pushing wrong bloody knobs. Blames the glitch bitch instead of doing his job. Kels rolls her eyes, says, mate, just shut up. She runs this whole circus while he drinks from his cup. We're gonna fight and busted, but you legends stick around. Luke's chilly meltdowns and his bulletproof head sound. Rod's yelling about green reflectors, Bill's digging up the dead. And thank fuck for this mad mob who listening.
Yeah, welcome back. This one's a bit special for me. A little while ago, I dragged my old high school PE sports teacher, Fred YAKICH, into the studio. Yes, a bloke that used to belt us around the oval and probably made me tougher than I had any right to be. He had a huge impact on me back in the day, and funnily enough, his bloody 1964 Manly jersey, number 5, because he played on the wing, got stolen off his clothesline.
Boo.
And it still hasn't turned up. Now, I am not going to give up. I don't think we'll find it, but Manly, we spoke to our good mate, Chris Warren, who is the media marketing bloke. He's also on the continuous call team on 2GB, by the way. But he did his best, and they don't have the 1964, 65, 66, 67 retro jerseys. There's got to be one out there somewhere.
Yeah, well, I'll set a Google alert up for eBay. Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll put the number 5 on it, and we'll give it back to Fred. But anyway, something good did come of all of that. Chris Warren organised special tickets for Fred to go to Manly's last home game at Brookvale Oval for the year. They were out of the finals, but they had their last game. So, absolute sellout. You couldn't get a ticket.
Yeah.
And guess what else?
What?
He organised for one of Fred's heroes, Steve Beaver Menzies.
Hey, that's my last name.
To come up with a Manly Oringo jacket, the wet weather one. It's a big...
Yeah, the cool ones.
And they presented it to him at the game.
Oh, stop it.
And I got photos of Fred in the jacket.
You never sent the photos to me.
It's on my phone.
Okay,
I'll send it to you now. I'll send it to you now. So there's Fred in his jacket. And they made a real fuss of him. So, Chris Warren, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And thank you to the Manly Seagulls for making that happen. Very heartwarming. So, yeah.
So, here it is. This is Fred and me on the podcast where this whole thing started. And thank you to his wonderful wife, Margaret, who also helped a lot. When I started this podcast after I left Triple M, part of the beauty of having your own podcast is that you're not under the constraints of the time that you have to play with when you're on commercial radio. And I don't want to get too emotional and soppy about all of this, but there is someone from my childhood that I've always found inspiring. And in this day and age where male school teachers leaving the profession because of a number of reasons, there's a bloke that had a big influence on me when I was in high school. He was fairly tough. He had rules that you didn't break, but he was kind, super competitive, and a former Manly first grade footballer, but he could play any sport. He taught me a fair bit about life, and in fact, I've got to say this has a fair bit to do with the shaping of the bloke I am today. So much so, a few years ago, we had our 40th school reunion at Terry Hills Tavern, and he was guest of honour there, and I was lucky enough to be able to make a speech, and everyone was just thrilled to see him. His name is Fred YAKICH, and he was the PE master, sports master at Narrabeen Boys High, when I was there in the early 70s, and he was still there when I came back after boarding school in 1978. His wife, Margaret, is also with me here in the Bonafide podcast studio because she has a lot to say about all of this as well. Now, they're looking quite bemused because they don't think they're special, but I think they are. And Fred YAKICH, we've known each other for a long time now. Welcome to the Bonafide podcast studio.
Thank you, Luke.
You were inspiring. You know, in today's day and age, there are a lot of kids who go to school and they come from single-parent families through no fault of their own, and a lot of kids lack male role models. And people like you and Tom G and Mr. Blue, Super Jack Casey. I remember nearly all of them.
You've got a good memory.
I do, because they had a lot to do with the shaping of our lives. And you in particular, to me, Mr. YAKICH, can I please borrow a basketball? Knock on his PE staff room door every day at lunchtime. And you encouraged me to go on with my basketball, and I did reasonably well at it.
That's good.
And it was thanks to you. So thank you for everything.
Pleasure.
That's all you've got to say.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, both my boys played basketball. When I first started coaching basketball, I thought, oh, well, this is just for tall people. As time progressed, I found that anyone can play the game, and it's a good game to play.
Well, you look at Stephen Curry, who plays for Golden State Warriors.
Here's Curry, wide open, three on the way, count it! First player in NBA history with 7 or more made threes in 4
Arguably one of the best players ever in the NBA. The captain of Australia back when I was learning was Phil Smythe at 6 foot tall. So being tall is an advantage, but it's not the be-all and end-all, is it?
No.
I just want to go back a little bit because your background is fascinating, Croatian background. Well, they call it Croatia now.
Yes.
And you have a very famous older brother, slightly older, and Nick YAKICH.
No, he was 1 year, 1 week younger than me.
Younger. I thought he was 1 year older. So Nick YAKICH, your brother, you both played first grade for Manly.
Yes.
It says here that you were in the centres. I always thought you were on the wing. I knew Nick was on the wing, but you played in the centres.
I started out as a 5'8".
For Manly?
I think they thought I was a bit too quick for 5'8", so they moved me out towards the wing. I played in the centres with Alec Tennant, and Alec was a good footballer. I ended up on the left wing.
On the left wing?
On the left wing.
I don't know whether this is true or not, but apparently when Larry Corowa first wanted to play for Balmain, he said, I played in the wing, and the coach said, what side? He said, whichever one's in the shade in the second half. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
But you played first grade for Manly, 1963 to 1966. Your brother Nick played for Manly, but he also represented Australia, but on your coattails. You told me a story that one afternoon at Redfern Oval, you're playing South Sydney, and that you ran over the incumbent Australian winger, Michael Cleary, twice and scored. But they put Nick's name in the paper instead of yours, and he made the tour to New Zealand. Is that true? Are you sticking by that?
Yes.
What happened that day?
Look, Rex Mossop was the one that did the broadcasting. When I got home after the game, I listened to what Rex had to say, and he says, and the man of the match was Nick, and it wasn't Nick, it was me. And I rang him up and I said, Rex, you've got it wrong. I don't remember what he said, but he did say Nick.
And Nick made the kangaroo tour?
Nick went away with the Australian side, yes.
To New Zealand?
Yes.
And he was playing alongside of Graham Langlands and Michael Cleary, and what an era that was.
Yeah.
And you didn't go?
No. The other footballer that was tops was St George winger Eddie Lumsden.
Only a minute away, St George are in control. Their vast experience is a telling factor as they intelligently hold the ball and continue to make ground.
And I opposed him. He was St George's right winger and I was the left winger. And I still remember that game because I had a number 5 jumper that I wore in that game.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, I kept that jumper. I don't know whether it was my wife Margaret or someone put it on the clothesline. And all my sporting jumpers, and I also had a New South Wales blazer.
You played for New South Wales.
No, I got that for being the best footballer in our school competition. In our team was Ken Irvine, brother Nick, quite a few good players. Harrisons, they all ended up playing with North Sydney. Nick went back to Manly, and what happened to me, as usual, being an up-and-coming school teacher, they sent me all around New South Wales. My next posting was Boggabilla.
Was it really?
Round on the Boggabilla bus. Wheels are going round on the Boggabilla bus. Wheels are going.
You know where Boggabilla is? An Aboriginal school on the New South Wales-Queensland border. It's the twin town to Gundawindi.
Is that right? But let's just get back to that jumper. It was a number 5.
Number 5.
On a big day for you,
Yep.
and someone's stolen it.
Someone's taken it off the clothesline at home.
1964.
Around that time, yeah.
And I said to Margaret on the phone during the week, is there, because we do a show with Adam McDonald, who is an expert on memorabilia. He was on that TV show, Aussie Pickers, and he's very good at finding things. And he said he's really, really struggling to find a 1966 Manly jersey, let alone one with the number 5 on it. And Margaret said of all the things in the world that Fred would like is he'd like that jumper back. And I don't know if we can work miracles, but I want to introduce you to someone. You ready? His name is Chris Warren. And he's a member of the 2GB continuous call team, but he's also the Manly Football Club's media manager. And he's on the phone now. Chris Warren.
Good morning, Luke. Good morning, Fred. Lovely to meet you.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, this man is sitting in front of me now, and his lovely wife, Margaret. Fred had a big influence on me when I was growing up. And when I heard that he would love nothing more than his 1966, I just found out now it was number 5, his number 5 Manly jersey, I turned to you. And it's going to be hard, but is there anything at all? Can you weave your Chris Warren magic? Can we get something for Fred?
Mate, look, Will, I'll move heaven and earth to try and find a 1964 jersey for you, Fred. I don't know if I'm going to have any luck, but we can certainly put our antenna out there and see what we come up with. Either way, mate, I just want to say it's a pleasure to sort of meet you as we are now. I'm only relatively new to the club, but we really are well connected with our Golden Eagles. We have so much respect for players like yourself and Nick that sort of dug the well that our boys are still drinking from today. So I'll do what I can, mate, but I'll certainly ensure that I try and come and meet you, and I might bring a couple of players with me if you don't mind, and might even have a jersey. I don't know if it'll be 1964.
Can I just say this? I always suspected that a guy living 3 doors from where we were living was the one that took everything.
Have we got his details? Do we know who he is?
Yeah, 1966. If he's still around, we're looking for him.
Where is he? Hey, that story about scoring the couple of tries there and Rex mistaking you for your brother, I'm flabbergasted by that, and I reckon Rex might have been as well. What a wonderful old commentator he was as well. I mean, there's some real strong Manly links there, aren't there?
Yeah. And Chris, I don't want you to think I'm putting you in your dad's shadow, but your dad wasn't bad either, Ray Warren.
Yeah, he was. I don't know if he would have called Fred. Probably don't think so, because Rabs came on the back of really Rex Mossop and Ron Casey. It was a bit of a different era, but I know that he used to watch all the games back in those days, and you may well have watched that time that you stomped over the top of Michael Cleary, Fred.
Yeah.
Did you step over him, or did you go around him?
No, what Cleary did that particular day, I can still remember.
Take us through it.
He was my opposing winger, and he took off and he ran right across the field to try and come in under the post. And I thought, blow this, I'll cut him off. So I went across and I got him before he got over the try line.
Beautiful.
Well, you had to do things differently in those times.
Yeah, the game has changed a lot.
Yes, a couple of things I don't like in the game today.
What don't you like?
You know, when it comes to the last tackle and they kick the ball, what happens now, you watch this closely and you'll probably agree with me. If they throw it to the right-hand side, the kicker on the right-hand side, all the players on the left-hand side fly up and they're about 1, 2, 3 metres in front of the kicker, and when the kicker gets the ball, 9 times out of 10 reverses the kick So when the poor fullback goes to take it, he's got about 5 guys there ready to plough him down. I don't like that.
Tough business, isn't it? Who'd be a fullback these days? They're very, very brave, Fred. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Chris, I know you've got to go. You're a very busy man, and I thank you so much. And let's see if we can do something very special for this great man sitting in front of me.
Yeah, Luke, no, we'd love to. And hello to you, Margaret, as well. I'd love to do what we can and come and meet you, Fred. And I'll try and bring a couple of players with me if that's all right.
Can I just say one more thing before you go?
Of course you can.
Can I just tell you one, the Trebojeviches?
Yes, know them very well.
Well, I taught their dad.
Did you really?
Their dad at Narrabeen Boys High years and years ago, and he was playing junior league. And I said, listen, mate, you would easily make first grade. You're such a good player. But he did not want to play grade rugby league.
Is that right? Yeah, he's a lovely man, John, and I know him pretty well. I came down at Mona Vale Raiders, so obviously I've got a strong connection with the Trebojevic boys as well. But he was running that barbecue for many, many years, and he handed over the tongs about probably 7 years ago. So he's got his own special method of how you cook the bacon and eggs.
Of course he does.
Yeah, and everyone toes the line.
I tell you what, Chris, he's raised an amazing family, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. They're salt of the earth, lovely people. And you know what? I'm sure like you, John, would say that Fred had a big role in his life too.
I'm sure he did.
I might come and share a shandy with you, Fred, at Mona Vale Bowling Club. I only live up the road.
That'd be great.
Well, I'll come too. I'm at Elnora.
Okay, well, let's make it a date.
I would love
free,
that.
Margaret?
I'll let it be a boys get together. I'm not a rugby league fan.
You're not?
No, I'm soccer.
Okay.
Yeah, proper football.
Because the Minister for War and Finance, Nikki, she'll come. She wouldn't miss out on this. But she'll be drinking full-strength schooners. Don't you worry about that.
Fred, you can teach me how to play lawn bowls.
Okay, I'll do that.
That's a date then. I might bring a couple of boys down.
That'd be terrific.
I've got to ask you this. Chris Warren, when's Manly? I should know this. When's Manly's next home game at Fortress?
Next home game, we play West Tigers on Sunday at Allianz Stadium. Now, what day is it? Pretty sure it's the Saturday. We've got the Dolphins, so it's a huge match, and it's Daly Cherry Evans will play his 350th game. He'll become only the 6th player in history to chalk up 350 NRL games.
Are you a fan of DCE, Fred?
I've always liked him as a footballer.
Yeah, how could you not? He's done some wonderful things for the club, and I'm not sure what his future holds, but we'll certainly give him a warm farewell at the end of the season, and we'll celebrate his 350th game in a fortnight.
That's at Brookvale. Fred, when was the last time you went to Brookvale, watch Manly play at home?
A couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago. Well,
I've forgotten the guy, but he said he'd ring me up and send me an invitation when to come. I think he forgot.
I'd love to get you down there if you want to come down, Fred. We'll get you there.
Do you want to
go? Provided I'm not bowling, Chris.
Okay. Okay, we'll work it around your bowl.
I'll tell you what, Chris, I'll put you in touch with Margaret. And she'll look after it. And we're going to work something out. We're going to try and get you a jersey. We'll try see if we can get you to Brookvale and make you feel very special, Fred. Okay?
Thank you.
So yeah, on behalf of Nick and Fred, thank you so much, Chris Warren. You're a star. Hear you on the radio on 2GB.
My pleasure. Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Fred. Thanks, Margaret.
Fred, you and Nick are the sons of a Croatian immigrant, and your dad stowed away on a ship bound for Perth.
No.
Has Wikipedia got that wrong?
Yes.
Well, tell me the story.
Okay, this is the true story. I've also written it in here. What happened, this is what my dad told Nick and myself. He was dragged to church by his mother every day and he couldn't stand it. So he wanted to go to the land of milk and honey, which was America.
Right.
He left Croatia, crossed the ocean to Italy, and climbed on board this huge ship that had a big A on the front, and he is off to the land of milk and honey. He hid in the longboats, and after the people had their food, in those days only the rich could travel, they'd throw their food scraps into the bin, and my dad said he'd never eaten better food in all his life.
Is that right?
So he'd go into the garbage bin, get the food out. Anyway, he stayed under cover, and then right near the end, he got caught in a place called Fremantle, Western Australia.
Yeah.
Big A also stood for Australia. And so he was caught and put in concentration camp, I suppose. He was only about 15 or 16 at the time. This is the second day. A chap comes in, he says, "Any of you blokes know how to fish?" My dad said, "I can." And he said, "Right." And that's when he became an Australian citizen. He worked up and down the Ningaloo Reef. And then after he'd done that for about a year or so, a couple of years, he decided to get a job in the Kalgoorlie gold mine. So he got a job there. To get promotion in the gold mine, he had to learn to use dynamite.
Right.
This had an effect in his later life. He decided, I'm going to quit gold mining and I'm going to go around Australia. Sells up everything he's got and he travels around Australia by train and he ends up at a place called Innisfail.
Yeah.
Up in North Queensland.
Yes.
And that's where he meets my mum, his wife. He meets and they get married and we're born all at Innisfail. Nick, myself and our sister.
How did you find your way to Narrabeen Boys High?
What happened after the war was over, Dad said, we're going back to Croatia. And he thought that was the right thing to do. So we had a beautiful farm up at Innisfail. Dad sold the farm and everything with it, and we came down here. But our boat was late. It was 3 months late coming to Australia, so we got rent in the Warriewood Valley, corner McPherson Street, opposite the sewerage works.
And post-war, that whole it's changed now. It's terrible now that they've overcrowded it, and every house looks the same. I think we call it Legoland. But I remember growing up there, and the drive-in was down there, and it was all glass houses and market gardens.
That's right.
It was kind of it was like living in the country, but only 20 minutes from the city.
Yes.
It was very special, wasn't it?
That's right. We used to go fishing at Warriewood Beach and down Narrabeen Lakes, and my mother says to Dad one day, "Pop, what are we going back to war-torn Yugoslavia for?" And Dad thought about it for a couple of days and he said, "Mum, you're right, we're going to stay here."
All right, you know me. I am definitely not one for rabbit food, but these new Power Bee Bite Bars from Nature Bee, they are the real deal. Crunchy chocolate caramel, peanut, honey, choc chip, proper flavours, real flavours. And here's the kicker. Each one's got 5 grams of protein plus Nature Bee's famous power pollen to give you that natural lift. And they're just $14.95 a box. Perfect when you're on the go, between meals or need a pick-me-up on the road. It's a snack that actually fuels you, not just fills you. I chuck one in with my Power Pollen capsules in the morning, and I'm sorted for the day. You can grab a 6-month supply of Power Pollen for just $160, and they'll throw in an extra month and 2 bars of their famous pollen and honey soap for free. So if you want to level up your wellness routine, grab a box of Power Bee Bite Bars with your next order of Power Pollen. The links are in the description right now.
So he bought 2 blocks of land on top Warriewood Beach. Margaret and I actually bought one of the blocks off him later in life. We're still living there now.
1966? 1965? And you're still there now.
And we're still there now.
What led you to teaching? Because I met you in 1973 or 74.
A lot of things went on in between time. I went to Monavale Primary School and I really loved school. I was dux of Monavale Primary School.
Were you?
But when we got to 6th grade, Nick got into trouble from a teacher and the teacher gave him the cane. And Dad and Mum objected to it. They went down to the school and they took us out of the school and we ended up having to go to a Catholic school. I never liked private schools. Even to this day, I say we should just have one system of education where everyone mixes together and then we'd have a better society. That's just my opinion anyway.
Did you ever give the cane? I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you gave it to me. No, maybe not to me. I'm sure you gave boys the cane. Did you give me the cane, did you?
Possibly.
Yeah.
You know how we all used to sit inside the gymnasium?
Yes.
Someone, could have been you, kept talking and I said, into the storeroom. I'm going to give you 6 of the best. And I took that person into the room. I closed the door. I said, I'm just going to give you 1. But if you keep playing up like that, I'll give you more. And I hit the desk with the cane
So
stick.
that the other boys could hear it.
Could hear it. I hit it 5 times, and then I gave him just a little flick, and he was perfect after that.
Now, was that the gym or was that what we used to call the gym, which was that covered area outside the tuck shop? Are you talking about the gym that's there now?
Gym that's there
The one
now.
that I lost that Shell Cup basketball game against Cromer in?
Yep.
Nah, that wasn't there when we had the boys high.
Yeah, you know why we lost that game?
Because they had a ring in.
The coach actually bought 2 of Balgowlah Boys High best players just down a couple of days before they played us.
What a cheat.
And someone told me that.
Can I tell you another story?
Yes.
This is about you. So we've lost the Shell Cup, round 1. Cromer went on to win it by a country mile. That should have been the final. But they couldn't seed teams back then because you never knew who was playing who. It was just a draw.
Yeah.
We should have been seeded to play each other in the final. So I then, years later, 2005, 2004, I then ended up coaching Narrabeen High basketball team with Tom G. Had to do a police check and all that. I didn't have a licence to drive the bus. Nicky's brother, who was a fiery, he had the licence, so he's to drive us to games. We lost to Henry Kendall High by 1 point. So the Shell Cup still eludes me. Margaret, what's it been like living with this Northern Beaches legend for all these years? How do you cope?
I'm not sporty. Fred is. So we've had different pursuits in our life. We wouldn't still be together if I didn't. I've got walking group friends and reading friends and very different to Fred. We've stuck together through lots of ups and downs, but
How many children and grandchildren there?
3 children and 5 grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many.
When did you first start teaching at Narrabeen Boys High? What year was that?
I know when Fred came to Narrabeen, our son was born in 68 and Fred was at Manly High School then, and so it would have been 1969.
Down in 69, the year that man walked on the moon. I was at Eleanora Primary across the road here. I'll never forget that day. Did Nick go on with his teaching?
Yes.
Because whenever we have a family breakfast, because luckily for Nikki, all her family, brothers, nephews and nieces, everyone still lives on the Northern Beaches. So whenever there's a significant birthday, we have a breakfast at North Narrabeen Surf Club upstairs there. And it's a shrine to the YAKICHs. Nick was a beach sprinter, but you were too.
I've got 5 gold medals.
5 gold medals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were both involved in surf lifesaving?
Yes.
Beach sprinting?
Yes.
Rowing? Did you get into the rowing? You didn't get into the rowing?
No. I'll tell you a story there too. They wanted us to do some rowing. We were rowing off Warriewood Beach of all places. We went out and on the way back, our head man that says, go, and there's this massive big wave. And he says, come on, we'll catch this one. Went down and the boat turned upside down.
Yeah.
When they turned it up at the beach, I was still under the boat.
No, they're big, heavy wooden boats then,
Yep.
and not much fun to play with if it topples over. But tell me about your beach sprinting. 5 gold medals.
We went all around Australia.
Who was better, you or Nick?
Well, Nick won sprints, but Nick, myself, Johnny Bliss in those days, Johnny Bliss and
Tom Adams.
the 4 of us, we combined together in the relay and we won quite a few medals there.
Was your dad an athlete to have raised 2 boys that were just so good at everything?
My dad was a very good sprinter.
There we are.
When we were in Queensland, we used to, once a year we'd go down to a place called Flying Fish Point, and the whole school would go there and they'd have races, and we always backed our dad to win the sprint. His chief opponent was our head teacher.
Is that right? You enjoyed teaching, and some of the most enjoyable classes I had were when you were filling in for another teacher. So maybe they were sick or something, because you went off topic, you went off subject, and you told great stories. I remember one day you were telling me about the psychology that you had to learn at teachers' college about how to communicate with people and how to. Those classes were fascinating. Like you might have been filling in for someone who was sick teaching geography or something, but Fred would come in and just go sideways and tell these great stories, and we were mesmerised.
I had a university degree, a BA, and it was history. I always liked talking about past history, even today.
Yeah, and you've got a love for travel too. Margaret, I've got to ask you, did you go to Brookvale Oval much and watch Fred play when he was playing for Manly?
Yes, I'd go to Brookvale Oval, but I wasn't much of a watching person. I was always doing my knitting.
Oh.
So, yes, I'd hear them clapping, so I'd put the knitting down and clap, 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 and then pick it back up. Never very interested in rugby league.
Really?
Yeah, really.
He's playing first grade for Manly at Brookvale. Oh.
Not a lot of talent in it that I could see. I just thought they were a lot of buffheads, mainly.
Yeah.
Crashing and bashing around and giving people bloody noses.
Fred, so first grade, what did we say? 1963 to 1966. It was professional football? What was the pay like? You hear of players now getting $1 million, right?
Well, I'll tell you a story here too. I was teaching at Badgerys Creek, and I used to come home here. In those days, there wasn't a lot of traffic. Brother Nick said to me, "I've got someone that wants to meet you, Fred." So I said, "Who?" And he said, "No, I won't tell you now. Come with me when we've finished lunch." I went to the old rugby league club at Brookie. Anyway, I walked in and Brother Nick takes me over. There's this guy sitting behind a table with all these papers there. Brother Nick says, "Meet Ken Arthurson."
No, Arco.
Having spent the last 50 years of my life in the game of rugby league, I didn't think I'd ever see the day that clubs would lower their pride enough to forfeit competition points simply because they never had enough guts to get their players to recognise their contractual obligations.
Arco, and I shook his hand, and he said, "Fred, I want you to just put your name here." And I didn't know what a contract was. Put my name there, and he says, "Okay, you're part of it."
You signed up?
Yeah, I didn't know what a contract was, and I just signed.
What was it for? How much money?
It was about.
I can't remember it ever being more than 2,000, but before 66, that was pretty good. That was pounds.
That's big money.
Yeah.
Well, when you played the game, if you played first grade and you won, you got £30. If you had a draw, £15, and if you lost, £7. I was a teacher and a head teacher, and I was on £18 a fortnight. So I was getting more out of playing football than I was as a teacher.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's probably the reason why men don't flock to teaching these days, because the pay compared with other professions, not in the same boat.
But it's a really important profession. I think the same for nurses. So how did Ken Arthurson, the great Arco, how did he discover you? Where did he watch you play?
Brother Nick brought me there.
Loved Nick. He thought he was wonderful. And Nick was very fast. He was faster than you, Fred, wasn't he?
Yeah, by about that much.
Oh, well, okay, well, never measured it, but...
But how did Ken Arthurson put a contract in front of you if he's never seen you play? He just went on Nick's word.
Probably.
Wow.
On Nick's word, yeah. And the other thing was I was going to sign up and play with Canterbury Bankstown because I knew the Gartners who lived close to us here at Warriewood. I was going to go and trial with them. That's where Nick says no.
Was this back in the time when you had to live in the right postcode to represent? You had to live in the area that you represented?
You're supposed to.
So you're living at Warriewood, and so you had to play for Manly.
Well, I was teaching at Badgerys Creek, so no one knew where I was half the time.
I remember there used to be a lot of Manly players that came from this area, and I'll use the word tribalism. You know, you really did feel as though it was your tribe that was playing because they were people who lived. I saw, I remember Graham Eadie and Bob Fulton coming to our school for a coaching clinic, which he probably organised, and Russell Gartner and Igor, Terry Randall.
I taught Terry at Manly Boys High.
He was ferocious.
Yeah.
He was ferocious. And Phil Blake and his brother. There used to be a lot of Manly locals in that Manly team, but it's all changed now, hasn't it?
That's a sad thing.
The state of origin changed rugby league for me when it was real Queenslanders who'd played their junior football in Queensland, because they all were magnetised to Sydney. That was the big league, Sydney Rugby League competition. And the New South Wales-Queensland clashes, well, the New South Wales side had Queenslanders in it because they were playing club football in Sydney. But that 1980 State of Origin game...
Lost the ball. Beautiful pass there to Edie. Then to Anderson. Anderson's into the clear, but look at this defence from behind. Brad Backer, he was going like a train. Anderson didn't know what hit him. There's the hooter, the crowd comes on, the referees call the game off.
State of Origin game, Arthur Beetson, captain coach of Queensland, Tommy Rodonicus, number 7, 5'8" for New South Wales. I think Mick Cronin, who was the Parramatta centre, got clocked by Beetson, and they were teammates. And then that's when we knew it was real. Do you enjoy State of Origin?
Love it. Instead of having 3, I'd have 5.
Best of 5. No one to be walking, Fred.
No, play 5 and whoever wins the most.
Best of 5. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here, Margaret. Thank you for organising all of this.
It's been a bit of an adventure coming up here and listening to all these stories. I knew most of them.
So when you had a win at Brookvale, did you have a team song like they sing today? Do you remember what the team song... We are the Manly boys, we had a win today.
Oh,
we are the boys you know of, we showed them how to play. Did you sing that?
Manly boys are... I won't sing it all.
Go on.
The Manly boys are on the piss again.
Well, it hasn't changed much. So cheer, boys, cheer. We are together every now and then we have a win. We will play them all around at our home already ground if they'll always play a fair and honest game. So guzzle, guzzle, guzzle as we pour it down our muzzle and sing out. See, this is politically incorrect. I'm amazed they're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
It is a bit, but you had a similar song that involved alcohol. But you weren't a big drinker.
No.
You still not?
No, I didn't start drinking until I was about 21, 22, and I used to go down to Brookie pub after training.
The Brookie Rex?
Yeah, with Fulton.
Bob Fulton. Did you play with Bob Fulton?
Yeah, a few games, yeah.
What was it like playing with the immortal?
Well, can I just say one thing about Fulton? I never liked Fulton, and I'll tell you the reason why. When we'd go down to Brookvale pub for a beer after training, as soon as it came to his shout, he'd take off, and he did this about 5 times. Next time he came down, I said, "You're going to shout first because you took off." And he, I can't even stay tonight. And he took off straight away. And so I never drank with him after that. He was the stingiest guy I ever came across.
How good was he?
Oh, he was a good footballer. Anyone that made first grade had talent, put it that way. I don't think you'd make first grade if you didn't have any talent.
You had plenty. It's been great to see you again. Need a post-show pick-me-up? I know what I'm grabbing. Nature Bee's new Power Bee Bite Bars, packed with protein, boosted with pollen, and they're bloody tasty too. And they're just $14.95 a box. Pair them with your Power Pollen capsules. You're going to thank me later. You can grab a 6-month supply of Power Pollen for just $160, and they'll throw in an extra month and 2 bars of their famous pollen and honey soap for free. Nature Bee's got everything you need to keep energized all day, every day. Do not wait. The ultimate wellness routine is just a click away. Head to the description now.